Okay. I think being a generalist comes with a lot of advantages. It's more complicated because you need to keep, upskilling yourself in so many things and keeping track of industry trends in so many areas, right? It's tough, right? But then it also comes with some like a lot of advantages, I would say. I consider myself a generalist in SEO. And like I try to narrow things down, so I don't do local, for example, and I don't like I work at the backlinks and that sort of thing at the strategy level. I don't like I need to narrow down a bit, right? But I do e-commerce, I do SaaS, I do publishers, as you can see right now. So it's complicated because even publishers are look, I tend to talk a lot, so feel free to interrupt me. Okay, so anyways, publisher SEO for news specifically is a different thing. Like there's a lot of differences, and yeah, it's even for the technical part, right? So it's just you know I have a lot to go through, but I stay up to date by two things. Aleyda's newsletter, I'm not sure if you're familiar with. It's really
Sunday
good.
evening one.
Yeah.
I think it's
So
called, yeah.
she has a SEO FOMO, and she also has a general marketing newsletter. If you're, um, and then uh, I'm not subscribed to the general marketing. I'm just, as I said, I'm trying to focus. And then I also watch or like follow a lot SEO Round Table. This is like where you get the slightest change in the industry, right? You like if you don't have time, you can just scroll through it. If you have, you can either read it, or they have a YouTube channel where they every day have like a 10-minute video talk about latest industry trends and so on. I've been talking for a while, so I'll yeah, I'll pass the baton to someone else a bit.
I'd actually like to suggest another newsletter that I really like. Like I like the one that you mentioned. The company is North Star Inbound, and the lady is Nicole De Leon. And if you just go to North Star Inbound, like at the bottom of the homepage is a sign up for my newsletter, and it's really good.
I'm gonna share the link. I'm gonna share the Aleyda's general marketing newsletter in the chat. You can find it here. Yeah.
Yeah, I read the Mark Williams Cooks one that comes out on a Monday. That's my go-to.
Hang on, let me grab link to hers.
Yeah.
I don't follow Mark, or I'm not interested in his newsletter, that sort of thing. I prefer Aleyda's.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I have them both. So I have the SEO FOMO and Mark's one as well. Yeah, it's nice for little snippets.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Alita's newsletter is way better, in my opinion. As I said, I'm not interested in Mark's work altogether, but yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry, I need a minute. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Newsletter myself, by the way, but it's a niche newsletter. I'm not sure if you'd be interested, but I mean,
That's the Riddler, right?
yes, the Riddler.
Yes.
Yes, this one
Yeah.
here.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I'm subscribed to your one as well.
Yeah. So where is it? Yes, this guy here is with me every time I'm writing. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'm actually working. I was just working on it just before I joined. Uh, uh, okay. So any specific topics or questions you want to talk about, or we can just like wing the session and talk about the latest trends in SEO and that sort of thing.
I actually don't have any specific topics that are of short-term concern.
I
Okay.
guess my concern would be, obviously, there's so much stuff happening now. It's just general performance drops.
General performance drops. Yeah.
It's, I see performance dropping, except for, well, search terms, dash, but not for money coming in and for clients coming in. And it's a really tricky one to go about because there's so much information and so much stuff happening.
And then you have updates and stuff as well, and you have AI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Few things. Um, if you see a drop, is this an e-commerce? If you can't say it,
This is B2B service.
okay, B2B service. Okay. First thing I would look at the trends, whether this is a seasonal thing or not, because a lot of B2B businesses, by the way, start to slow down towards end of year,
Mhm.
right? And I highly, highly recommend you give heads up to your client that it's gonna get even more towards, November, December and holidays, because I mean, you're gonna need to report on December and it's not gonna look good. So it's good to give them heads up beforehand. I had a B2B client in the past, the SaaS, and when in January we were reporting on December, they weren't happy because like performance, but it wasn't great. But I mean, it is December and people are not gonna buy expensive SaaS software during a holiday, right? So I figured that it's better if you like when you're doing October's report, maybe you want to highlight that we're expecting a slowdown in the next coming months, right? And then the second thing, so I usually start there, right? Because if you go jump into like the uh, Google updates, AI over and whatever happening thing, you're gonna like it's a you're diving into the ocean. So let's start with the areas that you can rule out easily, right? So seasonality, website changes, like try to segment, see, Kevin, you can stop me, right? I just keep rambling.
Oh, keep going. I'm listening.
Okay, try to segment your data and figure out if specific sections of your website are the culprit. Like, are these the ones that are got the most loss, or specific keywords? Try to figure out or is it a site-wide thing? So try to figure this out. Then you can go to SERPs and see what happens. Sometimes people start running ads on your main keywords and your brand name, and that would obviously impact your CTR. So check that out as well. And then you can also check out the performance of, I'm assuming you're using a tool like Ahrefs or SEMrush or, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you may want to check general changes in SERPs in terms of rankings, what happened there. Did someone like push you off your ranking, or if you still have the same ranking, it can be there's a big chance it's just also there's SERP features like AI overviews. If you still have your rankings, there's a big chance it's just either seasonality or AI overviews. But just heads up, seasonality can also impact your rankings. It's a bit complicated. I'm sorry, I'm saying too many things, but this is gonna be recorded. You're gonna have the transcript, and you can throw it into Notebook LLM, and it's gonna decode and clean up everything I say because I just yeah. There have been a few recent updates, right? Like you need to check out like is there any there's anyone knows which was the plugin Agora, is it what that shows you the curve of the updates on Search Console? There's this like shows you when the update happened on the yeah. Agital is really good for math, but one sec, Agital.
ऐसा कुछ खाने को
Agital Chrome extension. 1 second. think Agital is just for. Yes, Agital, because I use Agital, but mainly for the math part, like to show that when I want to take a screenshot for the report. So okay, I'll share this. It's a very good where is it, the chat? Where's the chat? Oh, here, sorry. Because I have this half the screen, so it looks weird. Anyway, so I can share my screen for a second and show this to you if you're
Yeah, please.
okay. Agital, can you see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me make this bigger. Okay, so it's really cool because you see here the numbers under Search Console. If I want to take a screenshot, I mean, I do those calculations obviously and in Excel and everything, but if I want to take a screenshot, or if you're checking something quickly and you don't want to leave Search Console, I use Agital and it shows you the percentage change, right? So for you, you may want to compare month over month, and then you also want to compare year over year. Let's say beginning of October till October 20th, 2025 versus 2024. And one thing I would recommend you also look into October 2024 versus September 2024 and see the change and compare to the change this year. If there's a natural decline, it can be some type of seasonality. It can be, right? We're never 100. It's very like we're trying to rule things out, right? So that's this math here, and it also shows you, see the Google updates. These are or Google incidents here in red line. So you can just figure out if, hey, this is declining or moving, starting or in relation to this update, right after, or yeah, it's a cool plugin. So I shared the link in the chat. Yeah. Okay. Anyone has any questions, topics to discuss? We were talking about traffic loss and decline. Hey, everyone.
Hi everyone. Can I hear question?
Yes, go ahead.
Uh, I was working in international LCO all the time, but recently I got a job in local SEO. But I really want to know what is happening with regards to AI when it's come to local SEO. I see there is not a like a significant change in local SEO when it's come to AI and ChatGPT, traffic loss and all that.
She don't do local SEO, but I know that I've been in a conference recently, and someone mentioned that you can get way more clicks from Google My Business versus website. But if someone does here local, please jump in. No one? Anyways, Faisal, I recommend. I'm sorry that I can't help. I'm just not. I don't do local. What I recommend, if you are signed up to Aleyda's newsletter, she has shared the deck, a lot of the decks for the last the event I'm talking about, and there were some talks that mentioned a lot of local stuff and map stuff and that sort of thing, and it was really cool. It's just I wasn't like I didn't try to remember everything because like I just have
Uh,
limited space in my head. So yeah.
yeah. Where will you send me in the chat or after the
Yeah, I can. Okay. Are you signed to Aleyda's newsletter? Let me try.
no idea.
Aleyda SEO FOMO newsletter? No? Okay, let me try to bring this.
Is it Aleyda Solis?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, I am.
Okay. In her newsletter, in the last one,
Okay.
she shared where is it? Here. One second. Okay. She shared them on. I'll try to grab the links. Okay, here. Chat. Okay. The chat keeps changing its place based on the size of the screen. Okay. So she shared these, but there's more actually. I'm trying to figure out which ones were the traffic was track. Oh, not this one. Not this one. Let me look for the reach out afterwards on LinkedIn. I'll try to get the deck for the things I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But these are very interesting. I also recommend looking into them generally. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, anyone has a question, or we can just discuss like generic SEO stuff.
What if we really comes down to international SEO and SaaS SEO? What are the main data points when it's come to AI? We really we can take actionable things to optimize.
Okay, should I answer, or someone wants to chime in? I've been like,
Yeah, just a discussion.
I can chime in, but I want to give others a chance. Anyone? Okay. Anyone has anything to share about AI visibility?
I'm not sure that we necessarily know enough about it to be definitive. Like the specific deck that I'm going to pour through later is from PageRank to AI. Reverse engineering Google's algorithm with data science for SEO by Brie Moreau. Like, I think the answer he's looking for might be embedded in that slide deck somewhere.
And for me personally, I haven't got a single lead from AI. Yeah,
During
not one.
that,
So is it overly important to me and the bottom line? Not yet, not yet.
I suspect it will be later. And this is like a very tiny data set of just myself. So I actually downloaded Perplexity's Comet browser. And much to my surprise, I use it a lot. So
Yeah.
I've basically divided up my search behaviors into two broad categories. One is I search for keywords. The other is I type in a little mini novel looking for a specific answer. And which of those I do depends on whether I go to Chrome or to Comet.
Zach, I saw the same comment today on LinkedIn. Somebody saying about its search behaviors. If you want
Yeah, so
something,
search
go to Google.
behaviors, I mean, again, I'm just one guy, but I'm
If you want something,
like
Google.
the last guy to fully embrace new technologies. And here I am kind of embracing Perplexity and Comet.
Yeah. But that's for you trying to understand something rather than wanting something.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how I'm seeing it anyway. And the
But
one
another
feed.
comment or observation that I've noticed, and I'm trying to like get more people to do this. So I'm in the business of building a link building community, and people want links to things that are not link worthy. And I'm trying to explain to them that that's not a good idea. And the way I do that is I encourage them to use any AI engine, look at the summary or overview, and start clicking on the links. And these links go to information-rich, citation-worthy web pages. They don't go to home pages. They don't go to landing pages. And that's a fundamental change, I think, in, well, two things. One is the way we search, but the other one is the things we find.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Great. So then it comes back to brand, right?
What's
where
that?
these where
How are you?
these link
Go ahead.
goes?
Can you hear me, guys? I feel like I'm. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Faisal, and then I'll go next.
I was asking Kevin, where these links going? Not to the landing pages, but what?
they go to what I'm calling information-rich, citation-worthy web pages. Like
Webpage.
web pages worthy of being a source of information for providing an answer to a question.
Like a detailed guide.
Yeah, or like some historian wrote an article about the Battle of Waterloo, right? Some economist wrote a article about the creation of money. Just various things, right? But the things that these AI overviews and summaries link to are what I guess I could call serious pages as compared to frivolous pages. So basically, if you want to get links from AI engines, you got to publish more serious pages.
Joe, how are you measuring whether you got leads or not from ChatGPT and that sort of thing?
Well, everything comes through HubSpot, and from GA4, there's a way you can upload your leads now. It's a little bit complicated. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But most of the time, the UTM parameter will just say ChatGPT or something similar. So it's a lot of manual work at the moment, I'd say, but in this not knowing period, it does help.
Thing to keep in mind is that people may be using those tools for research, but then going to Google, like last click attribution would be from Google, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like I can go to ChatGPT and ask, hey, what is the best whatever to buy? And it can list few things, and I can like go and, take this information and search on Google, and then I would finalize the decision there, right? So it's complicated a bit. I'm not saying, okay, I'm not suggesting that these like LLMs and ChatGPT are like a huge source of traffic or anything. They're very, very small compared to Google, but I think they're definitely worth looking into. So here's the interesting thing. The newsletter I'm sending out today is focused on Steve Toth's talk from last week's event, and he was actually talking about a lot about that was the theme of the talk. So, and that's why I actually like it. It's very actionable. A lot of times when we're talking about AI bots and that sort of thing, it turns into like a theory discussion, and but at the end of the day, we want to know like, hey, what should I be doing really? So I think it's a good idea to give it a go and see, like, imagine yourself like your own customer of your is interested in your product, not necessarily your brand, but the type of product you're offering, and then go to ChatGPT and ask and see how often you get cited versus your competitors, for example, right? Depending on the size of your business and everything, a lot of things it's up to you how important that is to invest time. But what I'm seeing, the optimizations outside of getting citations is not high effort. It's actually low effort. A lot of it has to do with seeing what pages ChatGPT is reading on your website, and pulling data about information about your brand, and maybe adjusting that a bit, making sure you have everything, like consolidating all the data that needs to be in a response about that sort of thing, right?
So at the last, we do not have to do much when it's come to AI to pull our data. We have to focus regularly like we used to do before when it's come to optimizing our content, landing pages and all that. Right?
I think I didn't understand exactly what you mean. Maybe, I don't know, sometimes I'm stupid.
I mean, uh, regarding your point, when it's come to our website, we cannot do much to give content to AI bots. Like we have to focus regularly. We used to do before. There's not much change. Like
That's the problem, right? That's the problem. Like when you go on and see people saying, hey, geo is just SEO and SEO is just and you don't need to do anything special. Maybe a bit for AI overviews, but AI overviews isn't all the AI bots out there. There's other things, and this is something to keep in mind when Google people speak about AI. They're talking about their AI. They're not even in a position to speak about other LLMs, right? There is a difference. So in SEO, you're going after keywords or whatever you're doing there, but usually keywords, topical authority, building content, and that sort of thing. In when you're trying to get cited in AI, and when you're trying to have some control over the information AI is mentioning about you, it's I mean, in concept, it's not, you're not doing some weird work, but it's not what you would do. You're looking at AI answer about your brand, figuring out where is that being pulled from, and adjusting that. For example, you may not need to do any of this for SEO, right? Like Google, first of all, is way better in understanding content on your website and handling JavaScript. Obviously, there's still limitations, but Google is way advanced, right? LLMs need you to consolidate the information, need you to have the information to in the places they're looking at, right? So there is some difference. And you know what? It was strikingly clear when I was listening to Steve Todd's talk. And the thing I felt is, oh, people who keep saying, oh, it's just the same thing, they probably never, ever done the work themselves. Like they're just, we're doing SEO and we're getting cited. Good for you, but that's not going to be the case for every single brand out there. So I'm not suggesting SEO is dead, or I don't know, like there's a lot of scams maybe going on and people misusing the term GEO and that sort of thing. But that's always the case with everything, right? Before GEO, people were misusing SEO, selling it in weird ways, $200 a month, whatever, which is garbage if you ask me, right? So there's always people who try to take advantage of the situation, whatever it is. So we're not talking about those people or those practices. We're talking about actual good work that drives something measurable, visible results, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally think other LLMs are not intelligent enough right now. They are, because they are in their early stage. It seems like they are behaving like a Google. Google is like Google used to behave in 2012 or 2015 to pull data. Uh,
I think we need to differentiate between two things. The LLM itself,
yeah, it's a
right?
difference.
It's just predicting, and then you have something extra which pulls the data and does the grounding and the RAG part, right? These are two things, different things. And the RAG part, this is where there is, obviously they're behind. Google is way advanced in this,
Yeah.
right? And has a obviously a lead on this. And I guess we all know that they removed the support for nomical 100 specifically. Okay, so here's what they did, and I enjoyed this talk. It was a guy called Ted. So first, they forced everyone, like all those bots. It was JavaScript. There was some issue with JavaScript. They like, I'm trying to explain what I've. Give me a second. JavaScript rendering in the results, to my recollection, was so bots had to switch to a specific browser, which is Chrome something, right? So Google had all of those people in one area and then removed the feature. Like it sort of was able to put all the bots in one area, right? For them to manage it and differentiate the difference between user traffic and like they're very, very, very advanced, right? So I don't think LLMs are ready for all the spam and garbage coming their way.
Like what if we have a brand like Samsung and iPhone, and if we want our data to cited by other LLMs, like we should be publishing data, like if user is choosing between whether I buy iPhone or whether I buy Samsung 25, which is better. So it's better to give that content on your own site, so LLM at the end cite you.
When you say iPhone and that sort of thing, are you talking about
Like in the
it,
comparison
are you
queries.
yeah, you're talking in general about comparison queries or comparison queries of very strong brands?
Yeah, they are strong brand, but I am talking about what if some like small to mid size businesses have a same product and user is doing the decision making. Like we know people are searching right now when it's come to information, they get all the information quickly through LLM. Which one is better, which have these feature and all that.
I
So
think the
do you think?
problem with, yeah, I mean, the reason I'm asking the problem is maybe more complex if you're talking about um, comparing products that have very strong brands, because then if you're, yeah, I mean, your website is not going to be the most relevant even for LLM, right? How often are these brand site mentioned on your website? Like it's you may not it's not that simple if it's for a strong brand, I think. But generally speaking, yeah, LLMs like comparisons, and if you can have them, you should have them on your website listicles as well. But you can also branch out and go elsewhere. Like you can use LinkedIn Pulse if that's relevant to your audience, first of all, because if it's not, it's just not gonna reflect well on your business. It's gonna look, you're creating nonsense everywhere. So you wanna check LinkedIn Pulse. If that would maybe something to leverage as well. If you don't, if you're talking about your product versus someone else's product, we're not talking about, let's not to iPhones, right? You're talking about your product. Let's say, I don't know, you're selling SEO Riddler merch, right? Let's say that's your product. Maybe engaging on Reddit and mentioning it, right? When people are asking what's the best SEO swag, or I'm just making this up, right? May not be relevant. So mentioning your product, that may make sense. It's not going to be just about writing articles, and it may be much simpler for you to get cited. And if it's your product, you don't need even to get cited. You just want to be mentioned, right? You don't necessarily want your link there. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's good, but if it's not there, you want to be mentioned, right? So
Like we have to look where LLM getting their decision, and we should have our brand name over there.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Public should be talking about our brand.
there was an old stat. I don't know if it still holds with, like, changes happen all the time, but there was an old stat that Reddit is used as 5% of the training data for ChatGPT, but it weighs 20%. Like I'm not sure where that is right now, but something to think of.
But additionally, we don't know where the various AIs necessarily get their training data. Like they're all somewhat different, and that adds a little layer of complexity.
Yeah.
Playing around recently with AI mode. I'm not sure if you all have it. And I type things like today's news, right? And I want to see what happens, and it literally curates data, or like gets news from like 17 or 19 websites. Can you imagine? Like, I'm not sure if getting cited there is worth it when you have the news itself, but that's the, like, keep trying prompt, or that's not a prompt, actually, queries like this, or yeah, and see what happens there.
For what it's worth, I would test AI engines with a specific, very obscure question. Like in the United States, the central bank is prohibited by law from directly purchasing treasury bonds from the treasury, and it's in the 1935 Banking Act. And I just happen to know that. So that's the question I would ask AI engines, like, why is this? And 6 months ago, none of them knew, and today they all know. So they're getting better.
Interesting. Okay, one more thing to keep in mind. So I post my blog, like my newsletter, on my website and on LinkedIn. And I've noticed AI overviews, if they're gonna cite, they cite my LinkedIn version, not the website one, right? And I know AI overviews tend to cite lower quality, actually, compared to Google. There because of the way they use fast search, like they use it's a bit of a different system, so there's a discrepancy. I can be ranking for the same article in search first, but they're citing the LinkedIn version, even though the LinkedIn version has, hey, this was first published, and linking to my website still, right?
Yeah, that's why I say like LLM behaving like early Google 2012.
I mean, it's good we have the chance right now to test and play around with it and get some experience on those tools when it's not still a priority, right?
Yeah, and I think they are gonna be drastically changed in just upcoming 4 6 months 1 year.
No, they're changing fast, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, although in the grand scheme of things, how much change, like ChatGPT did add features and stuff, but in general, it is fundamentally the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And I know I've seen people talk about they're starting to move to Gemini and they prefer Gemini. And I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling like I use Gemini sometimes, but I don't know. It's not that good.
I
Mm.
agree, and some people have said that different LLMs are better for different purposes. Although I haven't noticed it, some people have said Gemini is better for coding or vibe coding rather than ChatGPT, whether that's
Claude is the
true or
best
not.
one for coding, I would say.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
By a mile compared to
yeah,
ChatGPT. ChatGPT is really good in linguistic tasks. Like
yeah,
if, hey, help me rephrase this, or and it's good in coding, but Claude is just way better.
yeah. And there you go. Is that going to be a difference in people using LLMs in the future as well? I mean, this is early market adoption, so will people stick or not?
I think it's helpful if we talk to random people who are not marketers and if they use ChatGPT or not, right? Like talk to your like neighbors or random people. Obviously you're gonna look weird when you like jump into it. I literally had a chat recently when I was on my way back from the event on the train. I just chatted with the woman in front of me and annoyed her, but I mean that's part of the
Yeah.
package when you get on the street.
Why did you buy this product?
Tell me, I need to know.
Yeah. Tell me where you searched first time.
Actually, when I used to have a startup and I made a mobile app version, and then I was in Dubai. I got on the train in Dubai, and I literally was just showing it to people and asking them about it. It was weird, but Dubai is safe, so they were like, they weren't worried. Like, yeah, here you don't know, like, is this person like, yeah, what's wrong with them?
Just tell them we are marketer, we have to do that.
I remember something random. So because I talked about how safe Dubai is. It was so safe. If you are at the mall and you're leaving, you may find someone. I swear this happened. Someone came up to me and, hey, can you drive me? Like some random person. And I was like, sorry, no, I'm not used to driving random people. But then a local woman said, yeah, come on. And she actually took her with her like that. Can you imagine taking random people out in your car somewhere? No, I can't.
Local people are good when it's come to sense danger.
They,
They
they,
know.
it's a bubble. They're not aware how life is outside of
Yeah.
Dubai. Yeah, it's not real. So yeah, what's everyone working on right now?
I really working on to find a good job.
Good luck. There's some
Yeah.
vacancies right now, so good luck.
Yeah.
Where are you based?
I am based in here, Toronto as well.
Oh,
I think you
nice.
are in
Okay.
Toronto too.
Okay. Were you able to go to the event or?
No, I want to the same Steve Tooth, the SU IRL, but I missed this time.
It's okay. It's okay. Hopefully next year. Hopefully next year I'll be speaking. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you didn't go to the IRL this time. You gone the previous year.
I went this time and like I've went 2022, 2023, 20 there. So I think there was one time, I'm not sure, but I know I went all like 2022, 2023, 2024 last year and this year as well. But I have a feeling, no, let's stick to what I know.
And do you guys know any like private meetup? If you do sometime, do let me know.
If I get invited, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, there's some good vacancies right now, so good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob, what are you working on? If I didn't say your name correctly, I apologize. I'm just horrible.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah, I'm working on e-commerce
Nice.
platform with 10 locations like India, South Africa, and UAE, KSA, multiple locations.
So okay, something I haven't dug into yet because when this happened, I didn't have any e-commerce clients, but how are you like, or are you, how ChatGPT is now, like there's this thing with Shopify stores. So is that anything like you can check out, I think, or there's this feature. I'm not sure if let me pull that. It was really good. Yeah. Shopify, there's an integration with ChatGPT, so you can sell products directly through AI bot.
Okay. But yeah, our platform is not on Shopify.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I thought it is. I mean, I'll share this in the here. I think this is pretty cool.
I recently read about like Google uh, is about to include chatbot in Google Chrome as well. In itself, Perplexity doesn't comment. So any thought on it?
I'm not sure I heard the perplexity part well.
I said like Google is about to include chatbot in Google Chrome as well. Like Perplexity doesn't comment. So what's your thought? Like how it is going to impact if user get chatbot in initially, like when they open the Chrome. So
I guess it's not gonna another thing that may not bring good news to Paul. But
yeah,
but I think the I mean, adoption rates for AI mode is pretty low right now. Pretty low.
yes.
And I assume it's gonna follow a similar trend, right? Yeah. I think we just need to remember that the vast majority of Google users are not SEOs, right?
Yeah.
But it's annoying. Like Google keeps pushing for its surfaces, even in news, and I just don't understand. Like why I like people are asking about today's news, and then you take them to news.google. Like Google is trying to build a habit where users, when they want to get all the news or a generic view of the news, they go to news.google versus go to specific websites, right? And then they control the news, which is problematic. So it's just annoying, right? Like,
Yeah, it's the way it's going to be though. It's a business model. Everything they do is just going to have to incorporate ads.
Yeah,
and then
That's,
they,
I think that's
personally,
the bottom line, right?
I mean, and then they go and say in court they're not a monopoly. They're trying to argue they're not a monopoly.
Exactly.
Yeah, they had the audacity.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way you've got to kind of look at it. So news, sport, weather, it's going to have to link back to them.
and personally, I think it's easy to understand when you uh, see that their core business model is advertising. Like they just
Exactly.
want to keep you on the site, period, no matter what it takes, because that gives them greater opportunities to show you ads. A lot of people have this idea that they are the consumers of the Google services that they use, but we're not. We're the product.
Yeah. So I listened to Liz Reed's latest podcast. It's very valuable. And here's what caught my attention. Like Google, obviously, I mean, I'm just stating fact, what everyone knows. They know how users behave so well. And here's the thing. Remember that she had a previous quote where she said, we're seeing more queries. And what happened is they made it even easier for users to search, right? So sometimes if you want to, in the before all of this, if you wanted to search for something so elaborate, like I want to buy a watch that's, I don't know, this color from that brand, like you will have a lot of criteria in the search. You just may not dig it. You may just say buy watch or something. Like you may go high level, but they made it easier. They removed the barrier or made it lower for users to search even for more detailed queries and get relevant answers. So that's one thing I really liked that she mentioned. That's where more queries is coming from. People are finding it easier to even search more than we thought. It's easy already, but there's even more. So that's one thing. And then she said there are different types of, I guess we know this, but she said there is situations where users will not double, like they're asking a question that's not worth their time to double check answers and search and click on links, right? And there are questions which means more, so they go and read and want it to elaborate on that. So this is where they double check the answers in AI overviews. So I think it's a good distinction for us to make when we're looking at keywords and trying to choose what to go after. Is this a keyword that users really don't care of, they just want to get an idea, whatever. But um, so for example, just to give an example, if you say, hey, does green go with red? If you get an AI overview answer there and it gives you a few ideas, you may, that's, it's not critical, but if you're asking about, I don't know, something health, for example, or something, SEO, even if let's say you're Googling something, SEO, JavaScript, very technical, and you get an answer in AI overviews, you may still want to check the sources to make sure, oh, that's the valid answer. So this is where we can understand the value of a keyword for us and the potential it to get clicks, right? It's getting complicated because now we don't even have 10 blue links. We only have on average 7 or 8. And then now you also, even the queries are being divided into that type of, on top of a lot of other things. So yeah.
And the ads model now, you can get even more real estate. I can take up, what, 4 or 5 site links underneath one ad. I'm taking up the whole of the above the fold
Yeah.
with one advert.
And she also mentioned that the revenue is steady and nothing happened, and even with all the AI models and all the stuff going on, yeah, because people still go back and see how that worked out for them. Wow.
I've got to rush off to another meeting, so I'm gonna have to leave now.
Nice meeting you,
thanks for
Joe.
your time.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Cheers.
Bye. Okay, we have like 5 more or 6 more minutes. What do you want to discuss, guys? I want to make sure we all get like the best use of this time.
Can I provide one AI caution?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, always check their work. There's been some very notable cases. So a major consulting firm, I think it was Ernst & Young, did a $400,000 engagement for the government of Australia. And part of it was to produce a report. And the report was full of just outright fiction that ChatGPT just made up. And it was embarrassing, but now they're having to refund some of the money because they so obviously didn't do the work. And in the United States, there's been some very visible cases of lawyers presenting briefs in court that contained fiction. Like that precedent case never actually happened. That researcher doesn't actually exist, and that study is complete fiction. So if you're using AI engines to do research, check their work.
You know what? I think there's still lack of awareness or not a lot of awareness on how much these tools can hallucinate, right? And sometimes it takes even more effort to double check their work than actually doing the actual work. So that's where this is coming from, probably. Like if you ask it for, I don't know, to do research for you and you want to double check it, it's a mess. Like it's easier for you to go and write your, like, I'm assuming if that lawyer used it for researching cases or whatever, and it's just a mess for this lawyer to keep finding those papers and assume all of these cases just exist, right? I think the good thing is because we talk a lot about AI in our industry, I think we have a good somewhat understanding how to use it, maybe compared to other people who are not in marketing. So that's good news for us, I guess.
Yeah. You should be a subject matter expert to search things. And we SEOs are good at it, so it's easy for us to find like resources, whether they are not authentic or are just as fiction.
Thing to add, I'm sorry if, again, cut me off, but first of all, Rana, check my newsletter today. I think I'm gonna send it around noon. I have like it's really cool and it's about AI and SEO, so check it out. Second thing, I read a lot and we keep coming across, hey, 90% of papers or a huge percentage is now AI generated and that sort of thing. I think we need to tell the difference between something that's written from scratch, 100% by AI, and something a human wrote it and then put it through AI to better phrase it, because then it's also going to look like written by AI, but it's actually written by human, right? So that's part of those big percentages we're reading. If someone says 90% of web, not 90, like just whatever, X% of web pages are now AI generated. AI generated itself is not the problem. Is it 100% AI generated, or is it someone? Because for me, for example, I use a lot of times I take a paragraph from my newsletter. I feel it just doesn't sound great, and put it in ChatGPT and ask it to rewrite it and suggest some edits. Does that mean ChatGPT wrote it? I mean, it's gonna look. Some sections may look, if you pass them through a tool, they may look, this is AI, written by AI, but it is actually me, and it's AI helped me word it, right?
I have a question, like how the tools are able to like check if the content is AI written. Like I think it's not, there is no particular tool that tell you if the content is AI written or it is written by human. Even if we put any book that written before the chat GPT, it may see the results like if 50 or 30-40% is written by AI. So
People say M dashes and let's dive in, but people use these things actually all the time. That's why they are in AI. I don't know actually how. I don't know of a reliable, accurate way to figure out if something is written by AI. I know that there are tools, but I just, yeah. But a lot, as I said, a lot of people use it to rewrite their content, so that's a problem as well. I think we're going to reach a point where AI is starting to train on its own content, one way or the other, and that's going to be a problem. I don't know, maybe that would be the end for those tools.
Yeah,
I'm
that's going to
just
be a
joking.
problem.
Look, there's a lot going on in AI. I would just focus on the now, because that's all we have control over, and learn from it, and just, yeah. Okay, guys, I have to take off. It's time to work. Thanks for joining today. It's an interesting discussion. I'm going to post this on YouTube maybe later today. I'm going to share it on LinkedIn as well. Thank you for joining. I really enjoyed this conversation, and see you next month.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.